Hello and welcome to today's live community chat and conversation. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you some before and after pictures and the story that goes with them. So, welcome if you're joining us maybe for the first time. I always welcome our new members to our community. Please make sure if you're joining us on YouTube, you've hit that subscribe button. And if you're joining us on Facebook, I always ask that you hit that follow button as well. That way you will know when we go live and start our conversations. I always like to take a second to introduce myself. My name is Diane Parham. I'm the creator of the online course and community, the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Woman, as well as the Midlife Mindset Shift. And here in this community, we talk about all things for us as aging women in today's world, primarily around the concept of creating our most authentic life with the practice of intermittent fasting. So here's where we get to have a conversation. So I always appreciate it if you guys show up for me in the comment section. Let me know you're here. If anything I say during today's conversation resonates with you, always feel free to leave your comments in the comment section as well. And then I always ask that you please share this content with your fellow girlfriends. The more women we can help look and feel their best and live their most authentic life through this season that we're all going through, perimenopause into menopause, the better everyone will be feeling about this process and the more information we can get out. So, like I said, today I'm going to be sharing with you some before and after pictures I have taken over the years and the story that goes behind them. And the reason that I am sharing this information today is because we are entering into the season where we are going to be hit with a lot of marketing for diets and exercise and quick fix approaches, and a lot of the ways that these type of things are presented to us are with before and after pictures. And I really like to make sure here in this community, and when I'm coaching women and even for women who jump into one of my courses, that we have to get behind the why for what's intriguing to us, or the why for us jumping into something, and making sure that it's very deep seated for us emotionally and mentally, and we're not just desperately going after a result, right? And this is a little bit of what I'm going to share with you today in my story as well, and the journey that I'm on, and why today, as a health and wellness coach, I don't ask for before and after pictures. I don't ask for measurements. I don't ask for weight. I don't ask for any of those things from any woman that I'm coaching, because I really only care about why. I only care about why it is you feel like you need to make a change. And I want to make sure that you are fully aware of what it's going to take to make that change happen. So, this is what I talk about a lot here, as far as making sure you understand what is being advertised, right? So, if you see a before and after picture, taking that pause and asking ourselves, what did it take in reality for that person to achieve that end result, and is it possible to maintain? And that's what I'm going to share with you guys today. Full disclosure, I have done very specific challenges. We talked about this on Thursday, where the end result was something very specific. I'm going to share that with you guys here as well. So I want to make sure we think about Thursday's video. I'll link it here in case you missed it, so you can go back and see what I'm talking about with avoiding challenges as well. And then let's make sure in today's conversation, listen to the story behind these photos that I'm going to share with you, and the whys for what made the change happen. And then I'm going to share with you where I am today and what it is I'm doing to live my most authentic life. Okay, so let's get into today's conversation. So I'm going to share some photos, and I'm going to share, like I said, the story behind them. So make sure when you see the photo, you also listen to the story so you can connect the full picture. Okay, so here we go with my before and afters. So this was me in the summer of 2005. I had recently, probably over, it was 9 months from this picture till the time that I had a miscarriage. Michael and I had been trying to have a baby for a while. I was suffering from what would be considered some infertility issues, and I think it was pretty much hormonally and dietarily related. And so, This was 9 months after. So this picture was me struggling to get my body back and to really kind of wrap my head around what happened with that miscarriage. So I was 39 at the time. I was trying to get pregnant again. We weren't successful. I felt really broken as a woman because this was the first time for me that I felt like my body ever failed me. Like I really wanted, Michael and I really wanted to have the opportunity to have a second child, and I didn't understand why it was my body was doing this to me. It's basically the emotions I was feeling at the time. I couldn't work out. I didn't feel confident. Like I said, I felt depressed. I didn't have any energy, and I didn't know what was going on with my body. Now, with all the experience I have about hormones and the woman's body and what goes through, what our body goes through during these kind of changes, this is a picture of a woman who's just suffering from hormonal imbalance. And so I say that because this is where a lot of us are today, right? Like our hormones are just out of balance. And this was me. My hormones were totally thrown out of whack after being pregnant. I was about 15 weeks pregnant when I suffered my miscarriage. So I was very much in the hormonal throes of pregnancy. And then if you've ever suffered a miscarriage before, your body goes through the same sort of hormonal changes that you do when you carry a baby full term. Like, so my body had to adjust back to no longer being pregnant. And it was a really, really difficult time for me. So what I ended up doing was, a girlfriend of mine who was also a fitness instructor at the gym was throwing sort of a challenge or a test. She was developing a fitness program, and she advertised in the gym, lose 10 inches in 10 days and be coached by her. So I went to one of my girlfriends and I said, "Hey, let's get into this challenge that she's doing. I need to do something to change my body." And so the picture that you just saw, so this picture here was around September, the beginning of September. I think it was like the holiday weekend in September, in 2005. And this picture was at the end of October, same year. So I did, in fact, join her challenge. I did, in fact, lose 10 inches in 10 days as she was advertising for her program. And I went into it with a mindset of I could care less if I lose any weight. I could care less what I get on the inches lost. That it wasn't my challenge. I wasn't setting it up for the 10 inches. I was going into it because I needed to fall back in love with my body again, and I needed to trust it. And so I went into this challenge with the mindset of, I want to get my body healthy again, because the bigger goal is that we wanted to be able to have another baby. And I, as a woman, wanted to be at my healthiest I could possibly be, mentally, physically, and emotionally for that. And worst case scenario, if I wasn't able to conceive another child, I still wanted to be at my best mentally, emotionally, and physically at the end of whatever it was I was going to do. So I needed to do something drastic to get that change. It was more mental and emotional. Like I needed to trust my body. The challenge for 10 days was grueling. So this is where I want you guys to think about the advertised thing that you're going to buy into if you're going to buy into something, right? And that the expectation was working out at 5:30 every morning, working out at 5:30 every night, and following a very specific nutritional plan, because again, these results were being gathered to sell a program, right? And so we had to be proof that it worked. And so I was up every morning at 5:30 working out. I was at the gym every night at 5:30 working out, and I was on like a 1,200 calorie a day program. I measured everything. I weighed everything. It was completely inclusive of my entire life. Like my entire life for 10 days was just this thing. And I remember like going in my room at night, like after my son had gone to bed and my husband was working, and I was just like miserable. My body was so sore and I was so hungry. But the end result was I got what I ended up wanting, right? And that was that love that I wanted to have for my body again and not feel broken anymore. And the way that I was going to do that for myself was just proving that I can get myself back in shape. So this was me 10 days after I did in fact lose 10 inches in 10 days. It was magical. Like every day I woke up and my body looked like a different body. And I learned so much about my mindset during this process. And what I took away from it was I could do anything that I set my mind to, right? Like, so anything that I really said that I wanted, really wanted for myself, I could do and accomplish if I just set my mind to it. So this was us at the end of October. We had a super fun Halloween that year. We created like this big bat cave in our house. And so we went as the bat people and I was Catwoman. Okay, so this is November, same year. So we're talking September, October, November. I stuck to everything that I did when I went through this challenge, with some exceptions of I really started to create more of an authentic life for myself where I could live pretty freely, but still maintain what I wanted to maintain with my health and wellness because we were still trying to conceive. I had put a time frame on my attempts to have another baby at December because I was approaching 40 and I was really becoming exhausted with the failed attempts at becoming pregnant. And so I gave myself till December. So this is November of the same year. I ran a 10K with a bunch of my friends as we usually did on Thanksgiving. It was the turkey trot. And it was weird because every mile marker that I got to, I felt really nauseous and felt really sick. And I didn't know what was going on other than I was running a really nice pace. And I thought it was just maybe pushing myself too hard. And what I ended up finding out a week later was that I was in fact pregnant with our daughter now, Gabby. So everything that I wanted from that 10-day challenge really did end up coming to fruition for me because I stuck to the plan and I created a healthy lifestyle for myself and I was able to change my mindset. The bonus on that was I was able to also change my physique because I was doing the activities that also make that happen. So I was exercising and I was nutritionally focused on the big picture, and that was maintaining a healthy body so that I could conceive another child in my late 30s and early 40s. So I ended up becoming pregnant. Happy story is Gabby was born, 10 months later, and I had a very healthy pregnancy. I had to maintain a very specific nutritional plan while I was pregnant because, again, I was a high risk pregnancy at this point. Partly, in fact, partly due to my miscarriage, but also because I was going to be 40. And so I didn't want to end up with gestational diabetes that was age related. And so I put myself on a diabetic type of diet, controlling my blood glucose so that I didn't gain a bunch of weight and I didn't go into that hormonal imbalance again during my pregnancy. And had a very healthy pregnancy. I think I gained like 30 pounds. I wore a bikini the entire time I was pregnant. Super fun pregnancy, super healthy. I couldn't work out, so I did have to really manage my health and wellness through my pregnancy through nutritional choices. Again, all the things I had been learned and practicing before. And then we ended up having a very healthy, happy baby at the age of 40. So the story ended up very happy, even though it started out a little bit heartbreaking for us in the beginning. And the moral of this story is making sure that you understand the why you're doing something so that the lessons that you learn through the journey that you're on will stick, or you can pull some things from it that will work for you. And that's exactly what I did in that 10-day challenge. So then that kicked off my nutrition industry business again. So I was a group fitness instructor in my 20s and my early 30s. I left it for a period of time to put myself through college. And then this awakening that I had about changing how you feel about yourself as a woman when you're going through hard times through improving your confidence, right? And your belief in your body is what really kickstarted my getting back into health and wellness, especially for women. So this was me in 2012. So I've had a baby. I lost all the weight with Gabby really quickly, not because I'm some kind of like, amazing woman who can just lose weight after a baby, but she had dairy allergies. And so I had to go on a very strict nutritional plan while I was breastfeeding her. So I lost weight dramatically, went right back into shape. No big deal as far as that goes, but it wasn't because I lost weight easily. It's because again, changed my nutrition, really managed my fitness, and was able to get all that, whatever baby weight was left after her. So that was that section. Then 2012, I'm in the fitness industry. I'm working for a company who sells fitness programs, and they were looking for women to help sell this strength training program. Because I was in the fitness industry, I wanted to check off a box of trying to get into an infomercial. It was like one of those wish list things as a fitness professional and as a woman that I wanted to see if I could accomplish. So I joined this challenge, right? It was a specific program, specific nutritional plan, specific amount of time. It was a 90-day program, so 3 months of consistent workouts that were packaged and predetermined. You had to follow them, and a very specific nutritional plan and a very specific supplement plan. And you had to follow it in order to be able to, if you did end up being selected for the infomercial, to sell the program. So you had to do it as advertised in order to be able to um, be a contestant for the infomercial, because legality wise, you have to be able to say you did it in order to be able to prove that it works. And so I did it by the book. This was the before picture. So the day one is me before, just an average person, didn't have any kind of issues because I have always consistently stayed in my fitness routine and always consistently stayed with, nutritional eating. And so I didn't have any kind of issues I was trying to change with my body or lose weight. I just wanted to see if I could put on some muscle and look like a bodybuilder. So I followed the program. I got to day 90, and that was me at day 90. I looked like a bodybuilder. I had very, lean physique. I lost a bunch of body fat, but I can tell you the 90-day process was miserable, right? Because again, I had to go back to measuring all of my food. I was eating tuna fish out of a can. Like, I was constantly focused on my next meal. I was working out for like, I think it was like 45 minutes to an hour a day of really strenuous weight training type of things. And the beginning of the program was bulking up to put on muscle and weight. And then toward the end, we had to lean down. So we had a ton of food we had to eat in the beginning, and then we decrease our food toward the end to get like that lean cut bodybuilder type of look. And so it was very emotionally draining for me as well, because I didn't like that feeling of being heavier or thicker. And then I had to deplete it at the end. So then you get back to that place where you feel like you're starving, and you're constantly working out and you don't have enough food to support that, because you have to lean down. And so I did, in fact, end up getting on the infomercial, because the after picture sold what the program wanted to sell. And that was the transition from just looking kind of average as a woman, and then looking like you have muscle on your body without being bulky, right? And that's exactly what I ended up following in order to get to that end result. So I did what was advertised to get the advertised result. And this is what I really want us to think about and understand going into the season of heavy marketing toward diet plans and fitness programs: is what is being advertised, and are you willing to do what's advertised to get the advertised result? And I have to say that when I did that bodybuilding program, it was extreme, right? And this is why it was extreme. I couldn't maintain that type of lifestyle. You can see this was the picture that they used for the infomercial that was on TV. This is a very highly posed and very professional photo that was taken. You can just see the difference between this one, which was done at my house, and this one, which was done there. This was an exhausting experience as well, because you have to hold your breath, turn a certain way, flex your muscles. The lighting has to be right. Like, this is not me walking around every day as just a casual mom of two, like, living my best life. This was a very, very specific type of photography and posing to get a look for an infomercial. So think about that when you're watching these advertisements on TV, or when you're on social media and you're seeing things advertised. This is when those things are advertised, they're true, right? So it's not false advertising, but it's not every day how people walk around and how they look going about their business or at the grocery store. So trust me, I don't look like this on a daily basis. This is very posed. The other thing I want us to think about, and I heard someone say this the other day when they were talking about being on the cover of a magazine. And the words that he used was, "I dieted down for the photo shoot." Keep this in mind again when you are looking at or being advertised to about weight loss programs and fitness programs. The people who are being modeled for them diet down for the advertisements, right? So that's not them on an everyday living their most authentic life. If you see the cover of a fitness magazine when you're out at the grocery store, that person most likely dieted down and changed their life for a specific period of time to meet the standards of what it is for the cover of a photograph. That woman or man is not walking around like that every day for the most part, right? Because that's just not reality. You cannot look that chiseled unless you were just born with an amazing metabolism, right? And you've never ever had issues in your life about weight loss or fat accumulation or any of those things. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these things. Are you willing to do what's advertised to get the advertised result? And is that a reality for you in the long term? Because if you don't have that reality for the long term for you, what's going to happen is you're going to get to that day 90, which happened to me and a lot of people during that time frame of following these fitness programs, is you get to day 90 and you're so exhausted and you've cut out so many things from your life that day 91 comes around and you end up either going back to your life before or you go to the extreme opposite because you were so deprived during the process. So keep that in mind as well. If you're being asked to do something that makes you feel like you're being deprived from all the things that make you happy around your normal everyday life, then there's going to be that rebound when you get done, and that's something we have to be very aware of. So this was in 2012, so this was a very posed, very polished, very specific type of photograph to model the program. So these are the pictures that they used side by side in the advertising. Totally legit. The story was told in the correct way, that this was me after I had my miscarriage, in 2004. This was me after I did the bodybuilding program to show that you can, yes, put on muscle. And I did this when I was 48. I think I was, no, 46 was that shot in the bikini with the orange shoes. So 46 years old. What we as people, especially as women, don't pause and think about, all we think about is this after picture, right? That we want to be able to achieve. We don't think about the time frame or what was going on. So that picture of me in the first bikini with my head looking down is not me on a normal everyday basis either. This was me 9 months after having a miscarriage, totally hormonally out of balance and really frustrated and not understanding why I couldn't get my body back that I'm used to having on a normal everyday basis, which is a combination right in the middle of these two pictures right here, right? The other picture of the gray bikini is the extreme opposite of that, of completing a very specific regimented program with a very dialed in specific nutrition plan. And I couldn't maintain that either, meaning I couldn't stay this lean and this polished on a daily basis because that wasn't me living my most authentic life either. This is me on an everyday basis today. I'm going to be 56 years old. I live a very authentic life around food and nutrition. I, as a woman, made a decision when I was a teenager that weight and health wasn't going to be a thing that I was going to settle for and have to manage because of me neglecting myself. So when I was a teenager in high school, I decided that I was going to create a life for myself that was built around healthy nutritional habits and a consistent exercise routine, because I came from a family that always struggled with weight and always struggled with health, and I didn't want to model that for myself. So I made that conscious decision for myself when I was a teenager. Now that doesn't mean that I haven't had weight loss issues or weight struggles or any of those kind of things, but fitness or working out and moving my body and eating a healthy way for me to feel good about myself has always been on the forefront of my mind, which is why I have always been in this health and wellness type of environment as a woman, because it is important to me to also model that for others. So this is me on an everyday basis. You won't see me in a bikini. You won't see me in any before or after pictures anymore. I made a decision that I would never ask a woman, unless she willingly gave those to me. If you jump into any class with me or you are coached by me, you've had this experience. I won't ask you for a before picture because I don't want you to show up feeling um, like you have to be at your worst in order to be worthy of joining a group. I want women to start thinking about the fact that as soon as you make a decision that something isn't working for you, that you have the opportunity to make a change. You don't have to be hit up with an infomercial. You don't have to wait for a challenge group. You don't have to get your ducks lined up with a weight and measurements and completely overhaul your nutrition or start on a day one. Just start because you've decided that what you're doing is not working for you. Before and after pictures, especially in advertising, are meant to trigger an emotional pain point for us as the consumer. And the reason that advertisers still use this technique is because it works. It's because we buy into it and then we get whatever it is that we purchased. And then the reality of that sets in, what we have to do, what was advertised to get the advertised result. And then we realize that it's more than what we were really willing to do to get the end result. And the other thing that I want to make sure I'm very clear about here is that perfection is never easy to achieve with physique, if ever able to achieve. One of the things that I thought was interesting with my before and after pictures with the bodybuilding program was that they never took any of my rear photos, like turning around from the backside, because I always have cellulite on the back of my legs, right? That doesn't fare well in advertising with health and fitness, but it's the reality of who I am as a woman. I've had cellulite on my legs since I went through puberty back in high school, and so that's just nothing that's ever been shown in anything that I've ever done in the fitness world, as a professional, because that's not what women want to see, because they don't want to see themselves in what's being advertised, because that doesn't spark that emotional trigger for us, right? So just know I have far from a perfect body. I won't show pictures anymore of myself in bikinis or half dressed, because that doesn't sell the truth, right? The truth is, I have struggled with my weight and my physique my entire life. I don't have a perfect body. I'm always up and down in my weight, but I live my most authentic life and I do things in a very structured and very thought out way so that I can live a healthy life. Health is always going to be my first and foremost priority with what I share here and what I do in my own life, and how authentic I share what it is we do here in this community, because anything less than that is short lived, right? It's going to be short lived, and then you end up going back to being happy, or you go back to feeling your most authentic self, and then you decline away from that short lived like goal that you set when you jumped into a challenge or you jumped into getting a before and after picture. One other thing I want to say about before and after pictures, I love them. So if you have them and you're proud of them, I always say share them. Right? Like I will share a workout picture. I will share, what I look at like in my, biking, running shorts or whatever. So there's no shame in the before and after picture game. What I want to share with you guys today is that make sure when you're being advertised to with before and after pictures that you pause and think about what it's going to take as advertised to get to that after place for you. And is that going to be worth it for you, or is it going to create more drama and more disappointment in your life when you can't maintain that thing? I have to say the 10-inch experience I had was probably the most fulfilling and the most rewarding and the easiest one for me to maintain. And that's probably the way I live my life more in and out today with those concepts and practices that I learned there. The result that I got was significant because, again, where I started from was not my norm. It was a state of hormonal imbalance, and it was a state of me coming out of a very tragic situation. And when I changed my mindset, I got an amazing result. And that's the one that I've maintained for the biggest time frame. Now, where do I stand today as a menopausal woman? Somewhere in between that last set of pictures that I showed you. So this is me on an everyday basis, which is probably between these two pictures right here. I live a very healthy lifestyle. I work out all the time. I have a very fit body. I manage my nutrition very well. But in between those two pictures, I also went through a season of hormonal imbalance. I don't have pictures from that time frame because that was at a time where I just decided I wasn't going to take pictures of myself anymore in that way. but I gained about 20 pounds when I went from perimenopause into that menopausal state. That's when I was pre-diabetic. So I was pretty geared toward that first brown me looking down bikini picture because my body was in a state that wasn't normal for it. And I didn't know what was going on. And as soon as I got a hold of what was going on, figured out how to balance my hormones back out, started practicing intermittent fasting and live this lifestyle of authentic living around fitness and nutrition, I'm able to maintain what I'm happy with for my physique. And I don't feel like I need to show that to anyone else. And I want to give you guys permission to do the same thing. So make sure when you're being marketed to this season, you think about the whole picture. You look for the why people are doing what they're doing, and then ask yourself, can I get the advertised results? Am I willing to do what's being advertised? And will I be able to maintain that for the long run? If you can answer yes to those things, then you just found something that's going to work beautifully for you. If you're hesitant about it, or you feel unsure about it, or it makes you feel uneasy, then I always ask that you pause and reconsider what you're about to invest your money in, because it might not be something that's going to serve you for the long haul. And then we end up just stacking up a bunch of failures. And then that's what we think about when we come across something that could possibly work for us. It's like we have that approach of, this is going to be my desperate last attempt, and we don't want to ever do that. We want to create consistency. So let's see if we have any questions or comments. Like I said, if you have before and after pictures, share them with me. I love to see them. What I love to see about before and after pictures is the face. I love to see the happiness in the face and the transition of what your face looks like when you go through a transition that makes you look and feel your best. So no shame on before and after pictures. What I'm really trying to warn you guys about is what's going to be happening in the advertising world, and make sure you don't get yourself caught off guard and spending a bunch of money on something that doesn't apply to you because it's not what's advertised, right? And that's what I really wanted to send today in this message. Angela, hello, girlfriend. Good to see you here with us today. Christine, this is so important to hear this month. Thank you. Yes, for sure. It's all about the emotional connection we have to something. And if you feel desperate, question that, right? Make sure that when you're going to make a purchase or an investment in your time and your money and your energy in something, it makes sense for you and your life, and you're going to be able to execute what you're going to invest in. If you don't feel like you can execute it, or you have those kind of like questions about it, then the questions are there to serve you for a great purpose, and then make sure you get answers to those as well. Teresa, good morning, girlfriend. Roberta, aloha from Hawaii. I haven't seen you for a while, girlfriend. Eloise, good morning, everyone. Double graduate, August 2020 and August 2021. Girlfriend, what's with you in August? I love that. You're consistent. Finally got it. Thank you so much. Sending lots of love to you from all you've been through to be able to be healthy and willing to share. Yeah, I always consider, these things that we go through in life as gifts, right? Sometimes they're like hidden in packaging that is can throw us off, right? But if we open the gift and consider what it is, we can really start to use that as a tool to better us. So everything that I've been through in my life, I have no regrets about. I always try to find the hidden gem or the lesson in it, or the story that I can share with someone else that could hopefully serve them to serve a bigger purpose, right? So try to see if you can find the gift in things that maybe didn't work out as you thought they should have, or some things that could have been heartaches to you. And when you can pull the gift out of that and then use it as an experience to serve others, then we start to mend and heal our heartache and some of those losses that we feel, and we can really put it to use and make it purposeful for sure. Dawn, I appreciate your honesty. Thank you so much, girlfriend. It's really important for me to make sure that I am as honest and transparent and authentic as I can be here with you guys, because we've been through enough, right? And we've been sold enough things. And I can even tell you, with the program that I teach, the intermittent fasting for today's aging woman, I can't promise you anything. I don't talk a whole lot about weight loss because I don't know if you're going to lose weight, but I can tell you for sure that I'm going to teach you something, and that you're going to learn something about your body, and you're going to gain some confidence and empowerment about how you can change your life moving forward if you just consider some new things. So letting go of the perfect body, letting go of, of hoping that someone else's opportunity to do something is going to give us the magic power for it to work the same way for us. That's not true because everyone has their own story. So you have to come in it with your own authentic why, with your own reasons, with your own ability to execute. And then we share our story with other women, but we do it from the standpoint of coming from our heart and our head and not our physique. And that tells a better story always. Sandy, this is very insightful. Thanks for all. Di, you're welcome, girlfriend. I have before and afters for you. I started August 1st. Yeah, I would love to see them for sure. What I really love about before and after pictures that I get from women in this community is their lifestyle before and afters. Like it's you with your kids, or you doing something that you absolutely love, or you in your favorite shirt or whatever. And that's what I love about before and after pictures. They tell such a better story about you and your journey, and what the win has done for you, right? And that's what I love about how we are in here in this community, and what we share with other women is we want the big picture. We want, how are you living your life authentically, and having those before and after pictures with a story of how your life has changed for the better because you've made changes. Those are the stories that absolutely warm my heart and just make me fall in love with you guys for sure. Yeah, Peggy has shared her before and after pictures, and they are stunning. Again, like her whole life and her whole face and her whole energy has changed because of the lifestyle changes she has made. She's a graduate of our July Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course, and everything about who she is as a woman has changed for her. And like I said, her energy and her enthusiasm about her life moving forward is just, I'm in awe of it every time I see her pictures and every time I hear from her. And that's the win that we're looking for, right? We want that energy and confidence and empowerment, and that willingness to stick to something because it's making our life better for the future. And Peggy is a perfect example of that. I'll make sure I share those in my email correspondence to you guys who are on my email list for the next course. Jill, I love this. So true. I'm finding the 24 is working and easy, just not really losing the weight, but I am in it for the long haul. Jill, I promise you the weight will come off. Remember, intermittent fasting is an opportunity for us to heal our body from the inside out. That just takes time, right? And our body can only lose weight when we're in a state of hormonal balance. So when I showed that picture of me after the miscarriage, and I said, this is a picture of a woman in hormonal imbalance, once I got my hormones balanced back out, the weight like literally fell off, right? And I wasn't even really paying attention to the weight aspect because my physique was changing so drastically because my hormones had an opportunity to balance themselves back out. So the weight will come when your body is in balance, and your body will be in balance when the insides start to heal themselves. So just be patient, enjoy the process, enjoy that energized sense of calm. And girlfriend, I promise you it'll come, but you won't even notice the weight because you're going to notice some other things first. And then the weight almost becomes secondary because who cares when everything else is falling into place. So we're here with you, girlfriend. Keep us posted. Joyce, before IF, I got a gastric balloon and I was so desperate, which was a complete disaster. I could not eat for 4 weeks. This experience has led me to do IF and have lost 50 pounds in 18 months. So happy. Yes, that's another one of those things, like anything that you have to do that's drastic, question, right? Question it. Gastric bypass surgery or gastric balloons, that's an extreme measure, and it changes your body. It changes your body chemistry. It changes how you digest food. It changes what you can have to eat. And if you don't change up here, then nothing else is going to change. And I can tell you, the very first challenge I did where I lost the 10 inches in 10 days changed everything about how I cared for my body. The second challenge I did for the infomercial changed me again, and it helped me realize like what I don't want to do to achieve a result, right? And so we have to find these lessons for sure, and then like I said, you unpackage them and you find the gift inside, and then that's really what we end up learning from for sure. Okay, let's see. Lumberjane. It looks like you might have tagged someone. Thank you so much. Peggy, I'm in Old Navy right now getting some medium tops, no more extra, extra large. Okay, so Peggy, I tell you guys all the time, like if you go through my course and you're really communicative in my comment sections and here on all of our lives, like when we have conversations back and forth, like I fall in love with you guys and consider a lot of you my BFFs. Peggy is one of those women that I have absolutely fallen in love with. I don't know her personally. We've never met face to face, but we have so many things in common. And she shares her story about how she got kicked out of, I think it was Lane Bryant after she got done with my course. That's where she shopped usually, right? And so she just went there to go look for clothes, and they didn't have her size anymore. They were like, we can't really help you here. So now her and I got my Old Navy sweater on as we speak. We shop at Old Navy and we talk about clothes that we get from Old Navy, and it's super fun. So make sure you're commenting in the comment section. I absolutely am. I become very connected to you guys, believe it or not, through this medium we have here with YouTube and Facebook. And I fall in love with you and your journey and your progress. So, Peggy, I'm so excited for you. Old Navy has some really cool stuff right now. Oh, and just a little side note, my daughter and I went to Old Navy this weekend to look for some stuff because she has to go to a party, and we found Santa Claus um pajama bottoms in skin tone variations, which I thought was amazing. I'm going to post a picture on my Instagram. So hats off to Old Navy for being inclusive, and making sure that every family has an opportunity to see Santa that looks like their family. So I'll share those with you guys on Instagram. Jill, yes, the energy and less inflammation. Yes, for sure. Like if you have more energy and you're less inflamed, the weight will start to pick up. The weight loss will start to come, right? And you'll just feel better. When you feel better, you're not hurting and you have energy and you get your confidence back. We're not always thinking about the weight. We have freed up some energy and space in our brain to think about other things. When you wake up every day feeling like you just got hit by a truck and everything aches and you dread going into your closet, then we only think about those things, and it's such a downer way to live our life. This is why I have the saying here that I really believe every woman has the opportunity to wake up every day, planting her feet on the ground, looking and feeling her best. When you wake up every day with your feet on the ground and you stand up out of your bed and you're not preoccupied with how bad you feel, life just gets better. And that is really the goal that we have here for everyone. Pamela, I am proof the weight will fall off 15 months after I started, and I am at my goal weight September 2020 grad. And speaking of before and after pictures, Pamela's in my midlife mindset shift group, and she just posted a picture of herself with some pants that she can no longer wear because they just keep falling off of her. And my girl has this beautiful little hourglass shaped body. And she just did the work, right? Intermittent fasting will work for sure, but we can't only focus on the weight. The weight loss will come. Pamela is a perfect example of that. Like her picture, her little waist was just absolutely gorgeous. She's been gorgeous all along, right? But there's something that happens when you find success with the choices that you are making about taking care of yourself, where you just start to light up. Like the look of health on your face is something that you just can't miss. And that's what my girl Pamela is walking around with. And I'm super proud of her. Roberta, I needed to hear this. Balancing hormones, then we lose. Yes, you have to balance your hormones first. Weight loss, fat accumulation, all of those things are the result of hormonal imbalance. I've done tons of videos on those. So focus on getting your body back in balance and the weight will just literally fall off. Peggy, I just saw them. Yeah, the Santa pants. Oh my God, girlfriend, that's our family Christmas picture for sure. DYANN, thank you so much for saying that. Pamela, you are super welcome, girlfriend. I am proud of you. I'm always proud of you guys for sticking to something long enough to get the result that you say that you really want. And we talked about this, I think, on Thursday as well, right? That short, smaller term goal versus the larger, bigger goal that we're hoping for. And that really is the difference in time between what you say you want in the moment, which is usually that immediate gratification, satisfaction, unconscious numbing type of decision, versus the later, larger result, which is what we say we really want, right? One of the things I always tell women that come to me for one-on-one nutritional coaching or fitness coaching or health coaching or mindset coaching, whatever, is if you tell me you want to lose that last 10 pounds, I always ask a series of why questions until I get to the real reason why you want to lose that last 10 pounds. Because I can get, you guys can see, right? I can lose 10 inches in 10 days. I can get you to lose 10 pounds. I can get that. I can help you with that. You can lose that last 10 pounds. There's no doubt you can lose it if your body doesn't really need to hold on to that weight. But are you going to be willing to do what it takes to make that happen, right? Because that 10 pounds that we're holding on to, that's that last 10 pounds we've never really been able to lose, is our comfort 10 pounds, right? That's us living our most authentic life and not being hyper obsessed about getting everything in our life perfect or what we think is perfect nutritionally and fitness wise. And we allow life to happen. So that last 10 pounds for a lot of us is that comfort, is the authenticity. And we need to learn that that might just be what we're supposed to be. And if we let go of losing that last 10 pounds and we just live our life happily, we live it authentically, we make informed nutritional choices, we make informed fitness choices, and we create a life of consistency over time, I promise you, you will have everything that you hope and dream for your physique. That's going to be the advertised result that you're hoping for. So I hope this shed a little light on this for you guys today and will helpfully help you avoid buying into some of these drastic, emotionally kind of triggering fitness and diet programs that are going to start hitting the market here soon. Judy, I started January 15th on this year and lost 65 pounds to date. I hit my year-end goal 1 month in advance. I credit a lot of it to what I learned here from DYANN. Judy, you are, yes, all of that, yes, right? You got to take your time. You got to do it with a very even keel mindset. You've got to do it with a healthy approach, and you got to do it for the right why. So, Judy, I'm so proud of you, girlfriend. 65 pounds is no joke, right? Like, that's a small person. And I'm sure because you've taken the advice from here, you've done it in a very healthy way. I hope you feel super happy about that. And what I want you to think about is not so much the weight, although the weight loss is very significant. It's a huge win. I want you to think about what you did for your future self, right? I want you to think about how now you don't have to be preoccupied with that weight. You don't have to be preoccupied with health concerns. You don't have to worry about what your doctor's going to say when you have to go to the doctor's appointment. You can think about how well you're going to be able to live in the future because now that's one less thing that you have to manage. And girlfriend, I'm sending you big hugs. I'm super proud of you. Thank you so much for hanging out here with us. Shonda, thanks so much. This is wonderful to hear. I am a November 2021 graduate and in love with this lifestyle and balancing my hormones. Shonda, I'm so happy for you. Now it's rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's all you have to do is take what you learned in class, rinse and repeat it. Let life happen because life happens. Don't beat yourself up. Go back to rinsing and repeating when life settles itself back down. This information has not changed for centuries. The way I teach it to you here in this community is to help you do it in your most authentic way. So just go back to your class whenever you need a refresher. Hang out here with us because I'm not going anywhere. And then make sure you give yourself a big pat on the back today for sticking through something to the end so that you can get the advertised result for sure. DYANN, April 2020 graduate here. It was awesome to reach my weight goal during a pandemic. It's always awesome to catch you live. It's refreshing. DYANN, thanks so much. And I appreciate you being here and I appreciate you commenting. I love having this interaction with you guys and having this opportunity to get to know you and fall in love with all of your stories as well. So thanks for sharing. And yeah, look at that. Another goal weight reached in April 2020, and she's still here. She survived the pandemic. So DYANN, what I love about this story is you're not one of those people that says you have to lose the pandemic weight, right? The pandemic didn't stop you because you did it from the right mindset. And I'm super proud about that for you. The other thing I love about the women in this community who are really rinsing and repeating and sticking to the lifestyle that they created for themselves is now you know you can do hard things, right? So how we show up for ourselves every day is how we show up for ourselves every day. And you just proved that during one of the most difficult times that a lot of us have gone through, when people were out there using that as a really easy reason to not take care of themselves, you did the exact opposite. And now you can prove that no matter what happens in your life and what's going on around you, you will always be the person that you put first and foremost as far as how you're going to take care of yourself. And I'm super happy that you learned that lesson. Michelle, good morning from Canada. Welcome. We're so happy to have you here with us. Okay, so I'm going to bust out of here. It's been a 48-minute conversation. I love before and after pictures. Trust me, I love them, but you have to make sure that you are looking at them through the lens of what is being advertised and the full story behind them. I've had some amazing experiences as personally as a fitness coach, but also as a fitness participant. But I can't say that I've always really enjoyed the process because it was grueling to get to that advertised result, and oftentimes they're not the type of thing that I want to keep for the long haul. So make sure you're asking yourself those questions. Make sure you stay tuned here with us. For those of you who've been asking, our intermittent fasting for today's Aging Woman course for January is most likely going to start around the first week of January. I have some things I have to kind of like finalize to make sure that's going to happen. Make sure you're on my email list. I will make sure that I get you guys in the loop on when we're going to get our first class started for 2022 here in the next couple of days. I do that through email, so make sure you're on the email list for sure. And then for a lot of you, you've seen our students come back. This is an authentic lifestyle that will stand the test of time if you're willing to go at it with the right why and you have the right mindset about the changes that you're going to make. It is a beautiful way to live our life, and I love having you guys here in our community. Okay, so have a great rest of your Monday. If you need anything from me, you know, I'm always available in the comments, or you can shoot me a quick email. I'll see you guys back here on Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time or tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Instagram. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for spending some time with me today.